Are you making a massive mistake right now with your retirement savings? A mistake that could cost you literally hundreds of thousands of dollars over your lifetime? Stop right there. I know you're busy, I know your inbox is overflowing, and I know financial decisions often feel overwhelming and frankly a little bit boring. But I promise you, what I'm about to share with you today is one of the most critical decisions you will ever make for your financial future, and it's a decision that far too many people get wrong, leaving massive amounts of money on the table for Uncle Sam. We are diving deep, and I mean deep, into the ultimate tax battle. Roth IRA versus traditional IRA. This isn't just some dry financial jargon. This is about understanding how to legally, strategically, and powerfully keep more of your hard-earned money in your pocket, money that you've worked tirelessly for, money that you deserve to enjoy in your retirement. I want to save you from this nightmare of unnecessary taxes. Let's start with the absolute basics, because before we can understand the battle, we need to understand the players. What exactly is an IRA? IRA stands for Individual Retirement Arrangement. Think of it not as an investment itself, but as a special kind of wrapper, a protective, tax-advantaged container that holds your investments. Inside this container, you can put stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, pretty much anything you'd invest in through a regular brokerage account. The magic, the real power, comes from the rules of the wrapper itself, the tax benefits it grants you. The government created IRAs to incentivize you, to incentivize all of us, to save for retirement, recognizing that a financially secure populace is a good thing for everyone. But here's where the confusion and the potential for costly mistakes begins. You see, there isn't just one type of IRA wrapper. There are different kinds, and the two biggest, the ones we're focusing on today, are the traditional IRA and the Roth IRA. They both achieve the same goal of helping you save for retirement, but they take wildly different paths to get there, and choosing the wrong path can have staggering consequences. Let's first peel back the layers of the traditional IRA. Here's the core concept. With a traditional IRA, you get a tax deduction for your contributions today. You put money in, and that money reduces your taxable income in the year you contributed. This means you pay less in taxes right now, immediately. It feels good, right? That instant gratification of a lower tax bill. The money then grows over decades, completely tax-deferred. You don't pay any taxes on the dividends, the interest, or the capital gains year after year. It just compounds beautifully, silently, powerfully. The catch? The taxes eventually come due. When you start taking money out in retirement, every single dollar you withdraw, both your original contributions and all the growth, is taxed as ordinary income. So the traditional IRA is a tax now, grow tax deferred, pay taxes later kind of deal. Now let me give you a scenario where the traditional IRA shines, where it seems like the obvious no-brainer choice. Imagine you are Sarah, a 35-year-old software engineer, absolutely crushing it in your career. You're making $150,000 a year, married filing jointly, and your household income puts you squarely in the 24% federal tax bracket, not to mention state taxes. You feel the squeeze of taxes every single paycheck. If Sarah contributes the maximum to a traditional IRA, let's say $7,000 this year, that $7,000 comes directly off her taxable income. At a 24% federal tax rate, that's an immediate $1,680 savings on her tax bill for this year. That's real money. That's a vacation, that's a new appliance, that's a significant chunk of change she gets to keep instead of sending it to the IRS. For Sarah, the immediate tax deduction is incredibly attractive. She's thinking, I'm in my peak earning years, my tax bracket is high now, and I expect to retire on less income, so I'll be in a lower tax bracket later. This is the classic argument for the traditional IRA. But here's where the common misconception, the silent killer of future wealth, creeps in. Many people, like Sarah, assume they will be in a lower tax bracket in retirement. But here's the reality. What if you're not? What if you've saved so brilliantly that your retirement income from multiple sources, pensions, Social Security, 401ks, and your traditional IRAs, actually pushes you into a higher tax bracket than you anticipated? Or, even more frighteningly, what if tax rates for everyone go up significantly in the future? Historically, tax rates have fluctuated wildly, and there's no guarantee that today's relatively low rates will hold for the next 30 or 40 years. If you've deferred all your taxes to a future where rates are higher, you've essentially made a bad bet against yourself, and that immediate gratification deduction today will feel like a very expensive trap later. The consequence of getting this wrong is paying far more in taxes in retirement than you ever needed to, eroding your hard-earned nest egg when you need it most. And let's not forget about required minimum distributions, or RMDs. Once you hit a certain age, currently 73, the government forces you to start taking money out of your traditional IRA every year, whether you need it or not, and every dollar is taxable. This can be a huge headache for estate planning or for those who simply want to leave their money invested longer. Furthermore, for high-income earners who also have a 401k at work, the deductibility of traditional IRA contributions starts to phase out. If your adjusted gross income, AGI, is above certain thresholds, your ability to deduct those contributions shrinks or disappears entirely, even though you can still contribute. This is a common trap that many people fall into, thinking they're getting a deduction when they're not. Now let's turn our attention to the challenger, the Roth IRA, and understand its unique power. The Roth IRA takes the opposite approach. With a Roth, you contribute money that you've already paid taxes on. There's no immediate tax deduction for your contributions. You get no upfront tax break. This is often where people get stuck, thinking, why would I do that? I want the deduction now. But here's the magic, the absolutely incredible life-changing benefit. Once that money is in a Roth IRA, it grows completely tax-free. And when you take it out in retirement, after age 59, if after the account has been open for at least 5 years, every single dollar, contributions, and all that glorious growth is 100% tax-free. Forever. No RMDs for the original owner either. The Roth IRA is a pay taxes now, grow tax-free, withdraw tax-free later kind of deal. It offers unparalleled peace of mind. Let's use another scenario to illustrate the power of the Roth. Imagine you are David, a 22-year-old college graduate who just landed his first job making $45,000 a year. He's single, in the 12% federal tax bracket. He feels like he's barely making ends meet sometimes, but he's diligently saving. If David contributes the maximum to a Roth IRA, let's say $7,000 this year, he pays his current 12% tax on that money today. That's it. That money then sits in his Roth IRA for the next 40-plus years, growing and compounding. Let's say that $7,000, along with all his future contributions, grows to be $500,000 by the time he retires. Every penny of that $500,000 is his, tax-free. He will never, ever pay another dime of tax on it. If he had put that same $7,000 into a traditional IRA and it grew to $500,000 and he was in a 24% tax bracket in retirement, he'd be paying $120,000 in taxes on those withdrawals. David's current 12% tax rate is likely the lowest it will ever be in his entire career. By locking in that low tax rate today, he's making an incredibly smart, forward-thinking move that will save him a fortune decades down the road. The consequence of David choosing a traditional IRA today, assuming his income and tax bracket will rise over his career, is that he'd be deferring taxes from a 12% bracket to potentially a 24% or even higher bracket in retirement. He'd be choosing to pay more taxes, not less. And here's another incredible benefit of the Roth. Your original contributions can be withdrawn at any time, for any reason, completely tax and penalty-free. This makes a Roth IRA an excellent emergency fund alternative or a flexible savings vehicle for future goals, providing a layer of liquidity that a traditional IRA simply doesn't offer without penalties. So how do you decide which one is right for you? This is the ultimate tax battle, and the core question you need to ask yourself is this. Do you believe your tax bracket will be higher now or in retirement? If you are in a high tax bracket today, and you genuinely believe you will be in a lower tax bracket in retirement, then the traditional IRA might be your champion. This often applies to mid-career professionals who are at the peak of their earning power, perhaps in their 40s or 50s, who anticipate a significant drop in income when they retire or plan to move to a lower tax state. The immediate deduction provides significant relief right now. It's a calculated gamble that future tax rates will be favorable. However, if you are in a relatively low tax bracket today and you anticipate your income and thus your tax bracket will be higher in retirement, or if you believe future tax rates for everyone are likely to increase, then the Roth IRA is your undisputed winner. This is often the case for young professionals just starting out, college students working part-time, or even freelancers and entrepreneurs who have a down year in their business. It's also incredibly powerful for anyone who values the certainty of tax-free income in retirement and wants to avoid the uncertainty of future tax laws. The peace of mind that comes from knowing that your retirement withdrawals will be completely untouched by the IRS is invaluable. It's a bet on certainty. But what if you're sitting there, scratching your head, thinking, I have no idea what my tax bracket will be in 30 years? The future is uncertain! You're not alone. This is a common and very valid concern. Here's the solution, the strategy for the financially savvy. Diversify your tax buckets. Don't put all your eggs in one tax basket. Contribute to both a traditional IRA if you qualify for the deduction and a Roth IRA, or contribute to a Roth 401k if your employer offers it, alongside a traditional 401k. By having money in both pre-tax traditional and after-tax Roth accounts, you give yourself incredible flexibility in retirement. When you're retired, you can strategically pull money from whichever account makes the most sense for your tax situation in that particular year. If your income is low in a given year, you might pull from your traditional IRA, knowing those withdrawals will be taxed at a low rate. If your income is higher, you can pull from your Roth IRA, knowing those withdrawals are completely tax-free. This is about building options, building resilience, and maintaining control over your financial destiny. Now let's address a critical point for high-income earners, because I know many of you are thinking, wait, I make too much money to contribute directly to a Roth IRA. What about me? This is where the backdoor Roth strategy comes into play, and I want to save you from missing out on this incredible opportunity. For individuals whose modified adjusted gross income, MAGI, exceeds the Roth IRA income limits, a direct Roth contribution is not allowed. But there's a perfectly legal, IRS-sanctioned workaround. Here's how it works. You contribute money to a non-deductible, traditional IRA. This means you don't get an upfront tax break for the contribution. Then, very soon after, typically within days, you convert that money from the traditional IRA into a Roth IRA. Because the original contribution was non-deductible, you've already paid taxes on it. So the conversion itself is generally a non-taxable event, as long as you don't have other pre-tax traditional IRA money sitting around. This is super important. This effectively allows high-income earners to get money into a Roth IRA and enjoy all the tax-free growth and withdrawals, bypassing the income limits. I want to save you from making the mistake of thinking you're locked out of Roth because of your income. You are not. But here's the crucial warning, the nightmare I want to prevent. If you have any existing pre-tax money in any traditional IRA, SEP IRA, or simple IRA, the pro rata rule comes into play. This rule states that when you do a Roth conversion, the IRS sees all your traditional IRA money as one big pot, and any conversion is considered a proportional mix of pre-tax and after-tax dollars. This can lead to a significant unexpected tax bill. If you're considering a backdoor Roth, it is absolutely essential to ensure your traditional IRAs are clean, meaning they contain only non-deductible contributions, or better yet, roll any existing pre-tax IRA money into your employer's 401k if allowed, creating a clean slate for your backdoor Roth contributions. This is complex, and getting it wrong can be very costly, so consult with a tax professional if you have any doubts. Let's quickly run through some specific demographics and scenarios to solidify this understanding. For the young student or recent graduate just starting their career, making a modest income, Roth IRA hands down almost always the best choice. Your tax bracket is likely the lowest it will ever be. Lock in those low taxes now and enjoy decades of tax-free growth. Don't miss this window. For the mid-career professional now making good money, perhaps in the 22 or 24% federal bracket, this is where it gets more nuanced. If you have access to a Roth 401k, maximize that. If you're maxing out your 401k with pre-tax contributions and still want to save more, consider the backdoor Roth strategy for additional Roth savings. If you truly believe your income will drop substantially in retirement, a traditional IRA for the deduction might still make sense, but don't ignore the power of diversification. For the freelancer or small business owner with variable income, the Roth IRA can be incredibly powerful in years when your income is lower. Take advantage of those low-income years to fill up your Roth bucket. In higher income years, a solo 401k or SEP IRA, which are generally pre-tax, might be better for the immediate deduction. Again, a diversified approach is often best for those nearing retirement, perhaps in their late 50s or early 60s. If you've primarily saved in pre-tax accounts, consider a Roth conversion strategy in the years before you claim Social Security or before RMDs kick in. You might have some lower income years where you can convert a portion of your traditional IRA to Roth, paying taxes on that conversion at a relatively low rate, and setting yourself up for tax-free withdrawals later, and crucially, avoiding RMDs on those converted funds. This is a powerful way to reduce your future tax burden and potentially leave a tax-free legacy for your heirs. Here is the reality, my friends. This decision, Roth versus traditional, is not just about saving a few dollars here and there. It is about strategically positioning yourself for long-term financial freedom. It's about taking control of your tax future instead of letting the government dictate it. It's about maximizing every single dollar you earn and making it work as hard as possible for you. The consequence of ignoring this, of simply defaulting to whatever option seems easiest, or worse, doing nothing at all, is that you will inevitably pay more in taxes than you need to, taxes that could have been used to fund your dreams, to travel, to support your family, or simply to give you the peace of mind that comes with a truly secure retirement. I want to save you from this nightmare of unnecessary taxes. Don't let inertia, fear or confusion paralyze you. This is an urgent decision, but it's also an empowering one. Take the time to understand your current situation, project your future earnings and expenses as best you can, and make an informed choice. Review your income, your current tax bracket, and your long-term financial goals. If you're still unsure, remember the power of diversification. A little bit of Roth, a little bit of traditional, and always consider consulting with a qualified financial advisor or tax professional who can help you navigate the specifics of your unique situation. This isn't just about saving money, it's about building the retirement you've always dreamed of, a retirement where you are in control, not the IRS. Make the right choice and secure your financial future starting today.